Leafs talk. Sam McKee, Ailish Forfar in for a snoozing Jamie Munkus. She has gotten, I think we like to call this the short end of the stick.
You know what? I have a bone to pick. Every game I get is against a team that looks very much like the last team I saw, Utah, Kraken. You could close your eyes and think that they're one of the same. And a horrible night where we're approaching 1 a.m. that I regret being your friend and saying yes to you. But glad to be here again for another thrilling hockey game that I just can't wait to break down.
So I think now, if I'm not mistaken, if my calculations are correct, Ailes, the Toronto Maple Leafs are now 10 points back of the Boston Bruins, right? Who occupy, I'm quickly pulling up the Sportsnet standings on our app here. Yeah, they're 57. The last playoff spot is the Bruins, who are at 67. So, yeah, that would be 10 points behind the Boston Bruins. I got to tell you, this happened fast, bud.
Yeah.
Like, they came back from that road trip and they got 5 of 8 points. Everybody was really excited about that. They beat the Jets in that great come from behind victory. Actually, their last win since that Colorado game on the Monday night. It's been a lot of L's been between now and then. And I guess it just goes to show how good the Eastern Conference is this year. But, I always in the back of my mind kind of thought that they were going to get their act together. I did. Like when they got the 5-8 points in that train,
Sam.
They did.
Made you believe.
They did. I kind of thought that they were going to kind of get their act together. And there's no act here. The act is over. It's curtains.
Yeah. It's I feel like we're seeing the real identity of this team over the last couple of weeks, from Berube's skull to lackluster effort to a team that might just, even though Matthew Nye says he doesn't know what the standings are, I feel like they might know. I feel like they might know that they're not within, a quick little stretch of good hockey. And it's hard for you guys. It's because you talk about the Leafs every day. It's hard for you guys specifically on Leafs talk as well. But it's just deflating and it's not inspiring. So I will try my best to find some positivity, but I don't know where we would begin.
So I think the first thing I'll say, and it's maybe not even about this game in general, because it's maybe more of a big picture thing. But if you're a fan of this show, and specifically a fan of the Leafs, and you're watching right now, you are a real Leaf fan, because God knows if I wasn't doing this show, I would have been snoozing. I would have been snoozing in the first period. But here, you have to now really change your cheering habits. This is now a firm cheer against the Toronto Maple Leafs for the rest of the season. This is a situation where there's no way that the general manager of this team can have any other course than to sell. Although I saw today, they're like, oh, the Leafs interested in Panarin. And I'm like,
that's
Tree,
crazy, bro.
What are we doing, brother? Just let's
maybe driving up the price for other people. Sure. That's fine. We'll do that.
Maybe be interested in a second round pick from the Oilers for Bobby McMahon. Yeah. Maybe they have that report out there. But it is now at the point where you really kind of have, if you're a true fan of this team, losses are unfortunately good. And in year 8 and year 9 of Austin Matthews and William Nylander, that is not a conversation I thought we were going to be having. It's like a cold splash of water to me in the face at 12:50 a.m.
Embrace the tank. I guess we're
at that point, Else. We actually are. Yeah.
And that's tough. It's the earliest I think we've been in a season at that point.
Yes,
of course, ever in the last 10 years. But I think it was a weird day today because there's a lot of discourse around the Leafs, and Tree did some media and so much not related to the team in a sense. And I was thinking about it. We talked about it on my show today. Just think about the position that he is kind of in. I think personally, if they don't make the playoffs, that he won't have his job.
Correct.
But then he's also in a position where he's got the reins at the trade deadline, and he probably wants to continue to be the GM of the Maple Leafs. So he's probably thinking, well, how do I handle this? There's no president anymore that's helping make these decisions. It's basically like a lame duck GM if they're not going to make the playoffs. And I just feel like it's it's messy because
Oh,
he's kind of
boy,
like
is it.
DMing for his future too, for in another organization. Like if he has a killer trade deadline where he gets Bobby McMahon, a great return, he finds a return for OEL, and maybe you think, well, Tree can, retool. He might have a chance with this organization or another organization. Or he's looking at it thinking, well, if I want to make this at least make the playoffs, maybe I keep my job. Like he's just such a pickle. And I think not having a president ahead of him as well, like he's kind of him and Keith Pelly making decisions.
I think what you said there, though, about the playoffs thing, these losses have left no doubt. I think that even like if they're going to have their little, their meetings tomorrow or whatever, however many meetings they have a day, or they're going to sit down in a room together, him and Pelly and whoever else is in charge. I shudder to think about who all is making decisions and who's contributing. Like, say what you will about Brendan Shanahan, but like at least you knew he was like the facing guy, and he was the president, and he was a guy that's knows hockey really well and whatever. But like when they're having their meetings here, there's no one that's presenting. It's like, well, if they get hot here, maybe like that conversation is completely out the window. So at least we've come to that far. We know that they have to sell, and we don't know what they need to actually sell. But anyways, we don't have to do all of that. I did have a couple things from the actual hockey game, from the actual hockey game tonight. And the first thing I wanted to, because Stolarz is a big conversation point, and they were talking about it in the intermissions with Kipper and Borney, Kipper and Borney After Dark with Friedge and Carolyn Cameron. He's still so rusty. He's still so rusty. And like, it's not like these points matter and, whatever. But I can't help but think he could have had these two starts for the Marlies. Like, it's just, he just doesn't look ready. Yeah. But like, who's in charge here?
He is, and his agent probably. So that's your answer.
So like, he really was like, there's no way I'm starting for the Toronto Marlies. Like, didn't Wall start for the Marlies last year? When he was on a conditioning stint, like, it's just very clear to me that this is a guy that had a bad start to the year, has been hurt, missed the whole season, basically, comes back here and has had two brutal starts. He was okay in the first, lets in a couple muffins, doesn't look good. Yeah. He should have had a couple starts with the Marlies. I know it's revisionist history, Ailes, but he probably should have. He looks bad. I think
you're right. Like, of course, if he came out looking red hot, we wouldn't be saying this. But I just think like the idea of skipping one or two games, because I think the reason that they said on the broadcast is like it's a lot sloppier sometimes in the AHL, and there's more opportunity to get hurt. It's like, if you're going to get hurt, you're going to get hurt.
Still hockey.
It's still hockey. I don't think the AHLers are, flying into the net on purpose to hurt you because you're an NHLer. Like, I think you're right. There was at least 2 or 3 goals tonight where I was like, oh my God, like that can't go in. And there was still a push a few times in this game where I thought the Leafs could make it close. We were texting, we're like, maybe don't try to make it close.
Maybe we'd
like to get Leafs talk going. Please don't tie.
Maybe not the overtime game at 1 a.m.
Please no.
In a meaningless game.
But if he played a couple games and got that rust out, this is a 3-2 game versus a 5-2 or whatever. Like it could have been different in revisionist history for sure. But I don't know. I guess that's, if you're a veteran, you get to make those decisions. But I think it looks poorer now.
No, it's true. And I mean, just looking back on all of this, and I know we've been talking about everything, starting on that Friday night was insane.
That Friday was insane. Marner in town, Berube's skull, and he's starting. Like, I couldn't keep up with the news. We're doing a pregame show, and I'm like, oh my God. And there's also this, and then there's this. Like, it was crazy, and it got like swept under the rug with all of the insane things that happened on that Friday. Yeah. But that was the weirdest hockey game ever. And it probably didn't need to be Stolarz' start.
And you look back on that really was like the beginning of the end, right? Like that decision to put him in that game. And listen, Joseph Wall's been brutal recently, but at least he's played hockey games in this month. Hildeby's been, I think would have rather have Hildeby in that. Anyways, don't need to talk about the Vegas game, but it just, to see him in this game, it looked very similar to that, where it's just, he's kicking out rebounds, pucks are going through him, he's scrambling around. Like this morning at morning skate, or this afternoon at morning skate, morning their time, Berube said like, oh, we watched the tape together, which is, I thought was very weird. Like for Berube to watch it with the goal. And he's like, we thought he was way too active, way too busy, trying to do too much. He just got to play his game. And I thought there was moments in the first period where he made a couple good saves.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, he is a little bit more quiet. And in the second period, he's back to Phelps in it, swimming all over the place, like just not making good reads.
Was giving Samson off.
Yeah, definitely. Puck's just going through him, like that Montour goal that just goes straight through him. I'm like, oh boy, listen, there were some signs last year with some of the advanced stuff in terms of their stats and where they were. And there's some of the dorks that were right. And they're telling us that, Berube, maybe not the best coach in terms of, just defensive stuff. And they're going to being papered over by their goaltending. And you've kind of seen it this year when they've gotten below average goaltending, like they've lost a lot of games. It's a bad goal and they've lost a lot of games. So maybe unfortunately the dorks are right. Oh, by the way, Montour, maybe Kipper's onto something about trading Nylander from Montour here, else. I don't know. He was buzzing tonight.
He was Kipper and Born on Demand before the game in his headphones. Like, that's right. I'll show you, Kipper, how much I'm worth. Not to, I honestly, like, this game sucked, but one thing that I'm disappointed with the Leafs is these slow starts. Like, again, a goal early on in the first period. Like, they don't have the horsepower to be coming back in games anymore. And first shot, here we go, like in the net. It's just playing from behind all the time for the Leafs, especially 100%. Like early in the first period. It's deflating. And you're sitting on that bench being like, okay, here we go again. We have to now tie this game up and then try to take a lead. Like, it's just a continuous back foot that they're starting on. And I find that they do that also, like at the very first part of the period and the very end of the period, the two worst times, like going off the ice, a team scores with a minute left, you're going in the dressing room, you've lost the momentum, and then starting a game the exact same way. Like, I don't know. Berube talked about it a week or two ago, saying we need to start on time. Heard that one before.
Berube's been talking. They've been talking about this for 10 years.
For sure, but he brought it up now in his own verbiage, like whatever his saying was. But the same thing, like starting on time, we got to be ready. It's like, how is everyone else ready and you're not ready? Like, what are you doing? Like, be ready, please, for a puck drop, even though it was a delayed puck drop a little bit, but nonetheless.
You're so right. Like, why this has been since Babs was the coach. Like, one of the biggest jokes I made is like, oh, start on time. Like, we have that as a drop on Kipper mode, start on time. And it's just, they've never done it. And I guess the only real person that are left, the people that are left over, is Matthews and Riley, and I guess Tavares would have been here, and just the core guys,
leadership core,
the core guys that have an issue starting on time. Oh boy, it's
common denominator.
1 a.m. here. We're turning into Sherlock Holmes figuring this out. But like, come on, like I know, and maybe these guys just know that these games don't matter.
Yeah,
like I know Matthew Nye says he doesn't look at the standings, which maybe mix in a peek. You
know what? We can tell them a great app, Sportsnet app. It's got the standings right on the home page,
and they do it quick. It's like updated
it's
as the game
fastest app you can use. Matthew Nye, it's free as well. Download it in the App Store. Shout out Sportsnet.
Tap that app.
Tap that app.
But
get a bonga in there.
I just like, if these games are so like quote unquote important, right? Where they think that they're trying to convince themselves they still have a chance in these games, where they're like, oh, if we win a couple here, maybe we'll get back into this race or whatever. Then try to convince the fans that you think they're important.
But I think that's it. There's no lying anymore. How did you start this? Like, we've learned about the Leafs. Like, we know the true, how they feel. I think that's how they feel. Like, where was there a good 5-minute stretch of hockey where you were like, okay, this team knows that they can get back into it. And if that's what they're telling you, I guess we got to believe it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
They play Vancouver on Saturday night, which is the Super Bowl for Vancouver.
4 p.m. puck drop.
Yeah, we'll hear about that. And then
I've been to that game. I went to a Vancouver.
Wouldn't that be a nice time though? Because then you can go out after and get dinner.
I got to tell you, it was fabulous. I
don't understand the complaints.
I went with my boy Riccio, Andrew Walker. Yeah. We all went. My wife Allie and I, and
Poor Allie. They were you hooligans.
Yeah, they were whining and complaining about the Leaf fans. Boy, they hate Leaf fans there. But yeah, like, we got to the game. after the game,
The whole night is yours.
We went for dinner, and then we went to a party, and then we went to the Roxy. Like, it was
amazing.
awesome. Every hockey game should start at 4 p.m. Anyways, I digress.
Especially this one tonight.
Yeah, I digress. But no, like, they go into that game on Saturday night. You know, you should hope that you're gonna win that one, and then you can, like, they lose that one, boy. I just
Calgary on Monday.
I got to tell you, what is the tipping point for some people to not be around here?
I think that I was thinking the same thing. I think that they've got 3 more games before the Olympic break. Yeah. Everybody goes off and does what they need to do.
Yeah.
And I think I don't think you can actually fire or change any major structural things while there's the Olympic break. Isn't there a freeze?
I think you're allowed to start practicing again on the 6th, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, you wait for the 16th.
Yeah.
16th or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But
my boy Donnie's birthday, the 6th.
It's either right after the Edmonton Oilers game, which is the last game, and you're like, now we have a week to figure this out, or they take that time and it's like real critical thinking during the Olympic break, and then you come back and it's boom, 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 this is what's changed. Or maybe we're a bunch of fools that think things will actually change, and they'll come back and they'll say, you know what, there's 6 games before the trade deadline. Let's see what our team's made of.
No way. There's no way they can do that.
There is a way, because, and I don't think it should happen, but I think we maybe believe too highly in how we feel as Leaf fans and as how Twitter feels, that we're like, this needs to be done. This is going to be a huge organizational gut punch to say we are starting a retool. Think about the New York Rangers fans that just got that second letter of retooling in like a decade. They love letters. They love writing in New York City. Big time literature city. But I would say that, like, that's a huge organizational gut punch, and I don't think it comes easy, and this fan base will be real pissed, and a lot of fingers will be pointed in MLSE, and I just think I think it's the right decision personally, but I think it's not as easy as if, you know, the Columbus Blue Jackets say, you know what, we're retooling. Actually, they just hired a brand new coach. They're doing the opposite. You know what I mean? Like,
no. Someone out of the spotlight, a team out of the spotlight that's not the Toronto Maple Leafs, that's supposed to be like in their contention window. I totally understand that it's harder to do it here, but that's why people are paid millions and millions of dollars, is to make hard decisions.
But they never make hard decisions.
Well, they might have. They got a tough one coming up here, because you look at this schedule and you look at where the break is. It's a very natural reset. They play a hockey game on Wednesday. Is that the 4th? I'm just quickly looking at my calendar here. They play on the 4th, right? Against
Tuesday night against the Oilers. Yeah.
Which is, the 3rd of February. They do not play a National Hockey League game again till the 25th of February. That is a long time between National Hockey League games.
Tell me that you can't see a world where we come back to regular scheduled programming and we get a press conference where it's like, we spent the last 2 weeks really thinking about our future and evaluating it. And we believe in these guys in this room. We believe in this organization, and we've got the horses, and we'll reevaluate in the off season, and we'll just be cautious at the trade deadline. I can see a world where that happens. Like, I know.
Dude, you're kind of, you know what? Like, I can actually picture this in my mind.
Right. And
I can.
I really think that could happen. I think it's still likely that they don't do that, but I just think, like, the gravity of actually saying we messed up, we're not a cup contender or a playoff contender this year, and we have a all-star, superstar, amazing talent in his prime. We have multiple of them. And we actually need to take a step back. Like, that's big for this organization to do, and I think they should do it, but I don't know who's got the stomach to do it, so we'll see.
You're kind of right. I don't know. I hope you're like, I can see your side of it, but I just really hope that they make a decision here that is the right one. And
totally agree.
I said it on the last Leafs talk. I don't know when that was or when I was talking about that, but it was with Borny on Tuesday. On Tuesday. Could Brandon Pridham trade all these guys for picks, and could Derek Lalonde coach these guys till the offseason? And then you just, like, there is one advantage. This is actually a positive I had of this game tonight. Like, for example, let's say
Nick Robertson's name.
Yes, but let's say, for example, you trade some guys from this lineup. Like, you do a soft sell that
there's an ability to come out looking good about some of the decisions you have to make with pending UFAs or veterans. Like, I don't think it has to be a disaster trade deadline. It could be an amazing trade deadline in the sense of selling. Like, it doesn't have to be, we got Panarin. Like, what?
No, I don't want to do that. But what I'm saying is that, let's say, for example, they trade Bobby McMahon and he's playing on the top line. Like, and the Leafs are kind of starting to suck and they're like losing games. But could we treat this as like a bit of a development thing as opposed to like playing just Kalle Järnkrok 15 minutes a night instead of just putting Robertson on the top line and seeing what he looks like? Because I wrote down in my notes today that there's certain nights that you catch Robertson and you're like, they should sell everybody and just build around him. Because it's just like, there's certain nights where he shoots
one of those nights.
He shoots the puck. So, and of course,
that shot was amazing.
He shoots it so hard. He shot it so many times so hard tonight. He digs out pucks. Listen, I don't know what this guy's going to be, but if the Leafs are going to sell guys off and they're not going to trade Robertson, maybe they will trade Robertson. I mean, I wouldn't break my heart or whatever, but if they do keep him past the deadline, I want him to play a hell of a lot more for a team that's going to stink anyway. And even like, maybe he gains more confidence, maybe he becomes a better player, or you know what? Maybe he builds his value even higher than it is now and you can trade him for something else in the offseason. But like, what did he end up playing tonight? Probably 13, 12 minutes again. It's just like, play him more. You suck. Like, what do you have to lose? You're a crappy hockey team. You're 10 points out of the last playoff spot. Like, why is he not play? He played, okay, that's pretty high for him. 16-12 is pretty high. But he was on at the end of the game.
That might be a career high.
He was on at the end of the game, though, when they had the goalie pull. I hate that goal. Like, just pull you're going to lose the game. Stop trying to, anyways. But it's nice to see that he played 16-12. He should be playing 18. Play him 18 the rest of the year. See what you got. See how many he can shoot. Build some value for the guy because he's a good player. And like, they suck. We always said that. Most since October. Thanks, Luke. So you're proving my point for me. What a great producer. I just like.
They're nails, these two, eh?
You know what? Like, everybody always talked about Nick Robertson getting traded to the Sharks and being good. You're now the Sharks. You suck. You're worse than the Sharks now.
That is a humbling thought, but you are right.
True. It's just now the time. It's like, oh, if he ever went to a team that stunk and he got an opportunity, you stink. Now is the opportunity to play him higher in the lineup. Let him play 18, 19. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters.
Yep.
Sorry to be so impassioned about Nick Robertson playing more, but it's
it's a good example. Like, Scott Laughton is the same thing for me. Like,
yeah, what did he play tonight?
Scott Laughton play tonight?
I don't know. 12:53 for Laughton.
Let this guy play. Like, we just love Scott Laughton, and I just feel like he's just buried.
Never plays.
And is he going to want to be a Leaf after this? If he's like, oh, this is my role of fourth and third liner? Like, no.
Unfortunately for all of us, you got to set Scott Laughton free. Like, it's just such an obvious guy that teams cherish at the deadline. And like Luke was on our show today and he was talking about how he talked about him loving being a Leaf and being close to family and all that stuff. And I'm like, that meme, what's the meme with the guy like in the rain holding the gun crying? That's me with him. That's like, you gotta trade him. I'm sorry. You gotta trade Stetcher. You gotta trade all these guys.
You can't lose Troy's boys.
Yeah, I know, it'll break my heart, but you gotta let them go.
Have no one left.
I know. I'm gonna hate watching these games so much, but you just have
we're gonna have to cancel Leafs talk.
So this is something that Kipper brought to my attention this week in one of his impassioned rants. God, we yelled at each other like, wow, Matthew Knies was dash for tonight. Jeez. Just looking at the stand at the
he needs that Olympic break big time.
He does. So this is something that that Kipper said to me in one of his yelling sprees as we had this week. But every time they flash to Matthews after they score a goal, he's like my nephew on the iPad.
Yeah. They did it again tonight, like 3 times. I mean, it's our broadcast crew. They're amazing.
Yes. But like, they're showing the captain of the team after your team gets scored on. That's a very traditional broadcast move. That's not like it's an out of the weird thing for them to do. Could you just like one time be standing up and being like, wake the F up, guys? Yeah. Why is it like, oh, I'm going to go play some Candy Crush again here? It's like, oh my God, bro. Like, show that you're like the captain of the team. God.
I think that's a good point. But like, when does he ever show that he's the captain of the team? I think you're asking something that's a very fair thing to ask out of your captain, but I don't know if he's that guy. you know, like,
and I get that guys are always on the iPads too. Like, it's not just him. All the players do it. I understand it. But like, after you get it scored on, can you just like, can you give me one wake up, boys, or like smack your stick on the boards, or just, I'm not asking for a lot here. They got Frankenstein behind the bench screaming, losing his mind. It's like, could you do something?
I was thinking about, we're going to see Frankenstein.
Like,
I was thinking about when you watch like a show on Netflix or wherever, and it'll have the thing at the top column that says like parental guidance gore. And like they need to have that on the broadcast before they cut to Berube, like a warning, gore, horror, scary violence when they show his face, so you're not jarred. Like, it is, I don't know how long that's going to be on his head, but it never gets easier.
I will say, I don't know if Borny has said this to me either on air or off air, but I mean, we talk so much. I can't remember what day of the week it is, but it's like, it's just a tough week for his head to look like this.
The worst week.
Like
besides his wedding week, this is the second worst week for this to happen to Craig Berube.
The historic franchise that's like in the gutter, and there's turmoil around the team, and he's just got a golden horseshoe upside down. There's memes with the panic meter with his head.
That is the best tweet. I think it's Leafs Poppy. Guys, like it comes up on my feed now all the time because I've already liked it once. I can't like it again. But I almost like unlike it and like it again because it makes me laugh. And it's just, it's the tweet of the year, and we're in January. So
who texted that to me the first time I saw it, how I saw it? Doug McLean texted it to me. Like, that's it's like crossed over. Yeah. It's like the hottest meme.
Usually I would think he would he would text you like a dad joke, but he nailed it with like a good meme, He
emails me once in a while too. Sammy, I'm away this week, and it's got
a beach. Don't bother me.
But no, I just feel for Berube, man, because like, I think he owns a lot of this, no question. But I don't know if there's anybody in the world that's, capable of dealing with the Toronto Maple Leafs team that's looking like this. And like that article that comes out about Tree and the sports science, and he goes on overdrive and he's getting into it with them.
Day.
Dude, it is ugly right now. Like, it is capital T toxic. And I know I'm part of it, but like, that's what we do. It's crazy. They deserve to win a meter on Money Puck for this game is Berube's forehead as well. Well, Christian,
that's a good one.
Oh man,
I don't really have much to share about this particular game, but OEL,
oh my god, he
almost decapitated that young man.
He did,
and I don't really know if I didn't think it was dirty. I just think it was like shocking. I hope we have it. Here it is.
Yeah, we do.
Like, it was. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a big hit.
It's a big hit.
I was listening to Simmer, who I love on the broadcast. Yeah. But he was really kind of like saying he didn't think he did it on purpose. He was kind of like, oh, that was a bit of an inadvertent collision or whatever. And I
think he meant to hit him.
That was accidentally on purpose, where he wasn't really looking at him. But he knew where he was.
His neck goes around in a circle.
He's gonna that was that Catton.
Yeah.
He's going to be, he probably won't play until after the Olympics, I would imagine. He might be in the quiet room for a couple days.
Excruciating hit. And what was crazy is Seattle, like, nobody even came near OEL. I think
they thought it was, I think they kind of thought it wasn't on purpose. I don't know, but that was.
Yeah, I don't know. He might get
whatever.
I hope that kid's okay, but that was, wow.
I really hope that George Peros was snoring through this game, because if he saw that, he's like rubbing his hands together. He's like, oh yeah.
Oh, but we're going to make sure OEL can't go to the Olympics. Yeah. That's not allowed.
I'm calling that Italian rank.
Double IHF ban.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Ailish? I don't got a whole lot left to give. I screamed about Matthews looking at the iPad. I screamed about Nick Robertson just playing for a bad team. That's pretty much all I got. Ailish Forfar of fan pregame fame, and wonderful follow on Instagram and TikTok.
Thank you.
Put out a really good video of what the fan would be like if it was a reality television show. And there's a flash from my boy Andrew Dutch Holland. that
Made
really
you laugh out loud, eh?
got me LOL. And I put a little comment on your thing there. I love the comments on TikTok with the pictures. Like I could spend all day reading TikTok comments. Probably not good for my mental health, but God, I love it. So yeah, follow her on Instagram and TikTok, all the same thing at Ailish Forfar.
That's it. No other Ailishes.
And watch her directly after Real Kipper and Born on Sportsnet on the Fan Pregame with a rotating cast of characters because your other co-host, I believe, is overseas.
Yes, he's in the
overseas
currently.
Yeah, over multiple seas.
He probably could not be further away from us currently right now.
Honestly,
on a beach.
Pretty jealous. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like the coldest night here too. It's like getting to -30. So I'm like, oh, thanks, Justin. Have fun on the beach.
Do thumbs up, subscribe, do all that stuff. You do it. You do it better than me.
All right. At JD Bunkus at Sandy hit the like, subscribe button. We really appreciate it when you do that. Leave a comment. You can find me tomorrow at JD Bunkus. As JD Bunkus, I slept wonderfully last night.
Oh yeah,
he's gonna go on his show and say, I didn't watch past the second period. I got my REM sleep. But happy to come on anytime. You know what I was thinking? If I come on, apparently he doesn't even have a show tomorrow. What is this? This is outrageous. Wait, we can't say bye yet. He doesn't have a show tomorrow and I'm doing this?
Whoa.
Wow.
Speaking of reality TV shows.
That is where you cut to the drama music.
Listen, I watch enough of these with Allie. They'd be now going to like some fancy restaurant where there'd be like tense overtones. And then like they'd be like
I'd be showing up to JD's house and being like, you weren't working. Why were you sleeping?
He's probably
good for him. You guys work hard. You have 82 of these a year. I cannot complain. So I'm happy to do it. And honestly, I think I'm bad luck because the Leafs lose every time. So you'll probably be having me on more if you want them to tank. So I'll be waiting for your text.
All right. Thanks for joining us. That was Leafs Talk. Bye-bye.